quick run through of how the next 1 hour of the session would go. We will start by quickly talking about what are some of the challenges faced by nonprofits today, followed by an introduction to Dalgo, post which we'll hear from our NGO partners on how they use Dalgo on their day-to-day. And at the end, we'll have a 15-minute Q&A session where we throw the floor open and folks can ask questions to the NGO partners as well as us about how data is used within their organizations as well as how Dalgo works. Next slide, please. So, jumping straight into it, we know that data is a very valuable asset for every organization in the not-for-profit space. But the challenge is that getting from data to insights is a very tedious process today. What do we mean by that? Say, for example, I am an M&E lead within an organization that collects data in various forms across different tools. For example, this data exists in Google Spreadsheets, Kobo, Comcare, Glyphic, Avni. And to bring all of this data together in a single view and clean it up and transform it to be able to derive some kind of insight from it is a challenging process. We've seen that this exercise takes hours and hours of team's time every week. Similarly, if we consider program teams, leadership teams, implementation partners, they have different levels of interaction with data, which means that they want to see data in different forms. Taking a single data, making it available in different formats to an individual so that it makes sense to them also becomes challenging as organizations scale. The bottom line with all of this then becomes that we see too many organizations and M&E teams spend too much time managing data instead of spending that time learning from it. Next slide, please. This is where Dalgo comes in. Dalgo is an automated insights platform specifically built for nonprofits. That means that our vision is that every organization should be able to use automated data automation to be able to get from raw data to reliable insights as quickly as possible. How does Dalgo as a platform help achieve that? One is that it helps unify data from every single one of an organization's sources into one place where it is cleansed, transformed, and ready to use. Secondly, data is relevant in different forms to different teams, which is why Dalgo enables role-based control and access to data and also helps create the right visualization so that every individual will only interact with the data the way they need. As a platform, we're also conscious of cost and pricing and affordability, which means that any organization onboarding into the Dalgo platform would be able to, irrespective of whether it's 10 users or 100 users, would pay the same price for the subscription. And last but most importantly, Dalgo helps convert data into the right visualization and the right insights so that data is ready to be actionable from the get-go. Next slide, please. Just to quickly summarize what Dalgo can do for every team. For M&E and data teams, less time putting data together from different places, cleaning it up or pivoting on a Google spreadsheet, and instead just use working visualizations and dashboards every single day to make more meaningful inferences. For program managers, it is very important that yesterday's data is available to them on time so that they can use it to make today's decisions. With data automation with Dalgo, that becomes possible. For field teams who usually collect data but are not able to interact with it much, Dalgo's vision is also make it available to them in the form of right visualization so that they are also able to proactively engage with data collected to make their daily decisions. And finally, for leadership as well as NGO funders, a key performance indicator or a large level view of how impact is happening at scale with data helps them understand and track program as well as organizational outcomes. Next slide, please. So far, we've served around 18 NGOs across 10 sustainable development goals. And we have 3 of them on the panel today who are going to talk about how they've used data automation and insight to help take decisions on a daily basis with Dalgo. Before we do that, we'll do a quick platform demo that Priyesh will take us through in terms of how it works in real time. Over to you, Priyesh.
Yeah, thank you, Stuti. Also, I think am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, fine. So good afternoon, everyone, and I really appreciate your presence and patience. Thank you so much. This might be a refresher for people who have been a regular attendees, but I would like to help you form a clear mental picture on how Dalgo works at a high level macro perspective. So deeper questions regarding the demo could be asked in the Q&A section in the last. Okay, so Dalgo is basically a ELT tool. It's an open source which which helps to streamline the journey from raw data to reliable insights. So it has been seen that NGOs have been using multiple data sources, commonly Comcare, Kobo Toolbox, Glyphic, Excel, etc. And from these sources, what Dalgo does is help you to pull in the data from these particular sources, which is performed by its ingest feature, which helps you to pull in all the data, keep it at a warehouse or a storage in the sense, and then helps you to transform that particular data into a form that can be easily used for decision making or perform certain actions on that particular data. So it helps you to organize that particular data. Then orchestrate is the feature that help you to schedule the frequency at which these particular data and these particular pulling of the data and storing of the data and performing certain actions on the data is up to date. So at particular frequency, that can be manual also, that can be daily or weekly. It helps you to schedule those. So basically, these are the triggers that help you to keep the data updated. When the data is processed, then it can be taken to a visualization tool. There are multiple tools present like Tableau, Looker Studio, Power BI. But Dalgo offers Superset, which is itself an open source, as the visualization tool. Now I'll be taking you through directly to the platform for more better understanding. I'll just try to share my screen. Okay, great. So this is the landing page when you log in into Dalgo, and then you are able to see these particular menu items in the left side of this screen, where the pipeline overview section is the hero section of our Dalgo platform, which comprises of three subsections. One is the ingest, transform, and third is the orchestrate. So just to give you a analogy, like you can consider ingestion could be a like in terms of video making or filming, you can consider it as a raw footage. So data as a raw footage is the ingestion part of it, where the data is present, but it is unstructured. It is coming from multiple sources. So these are the raw footages, and editing happening on that particular data is the transformation part, where you are making it analysis ready, where you're cleaning it, organizing it, you are joining those tables, etc. So it is more of a editing part which happens in the film production. Orchestrate is the director that is calling the shots. So basically, it is helping to streamline both the ingestion and transformation to be happening at a particular frequency so that things are up to date. So when these things work, I'll be going in detail into each one of them. Then the data is ready to be visualized on any of the visualization tool, which I had just shared. So the journey starts on the platform by setting up a warehouse where it is a storage that either can be set up with the help of our team, or can be your own warehouse where you can just edit the particular warehouse, name it, you can fill in the other fields, and then you can just save the same to have that particular warehouse. Or if you want to delete the previous warehouse, you can just delete and get a new one. So once the destination is set up for the data, that where the data should be going, then you to set up from where it should be coming. So for that purpose, you can add a source by giving a name to it, Priyesh source demo, whatever suits you, and then you can select the which source you are selecting. So currently Dalgo offers 300 plus connectors, so that you can connect with 300 plus sources. And if it is not available, then we can help you to build a custom one. So if I'm using Google Sheet over here, then I can just search for the same, and then I can have different prompts, different fields coming up as per the source I am selecting, so that these fields are helpful to help you get connected with that particular source. So it differs for different tools. Like if I select Kobo, so these prompts, these fields will differ. So but once you fill these details, then that connection happens, and you can see in this particular table that how the details of that particular connection are, like the name of that connection, the type, and there are certain actions that can be performed in this particular field. So for the demo purpose, I have created a connection where I've used a Google Sheet where I can just edit and show the details which I have filled. It is having a name, the row batch size, what type of authentication, etc., etc., and there's a link to the spreadsheet that I have attached. So before moving from this particular source, I'll just try to ground you to the sheet or the data source which I have created, so that throughout the demo, you are able to relate to the demo which I am doing today. So this particular workbook has been attached there. This comprises of two sheets. One is the May Web and the second is the May Web personality. So it comprises of student details with what percentage of attendance they had in the course they were there, and what is the quiz score of them in after the completion of that particular course, and whether they got placed or not. And second one is the sheet which comprises of those students, because the student ID is common in between these two sheets. Those students' height, weight, etc., calculation of a BMI, and then it is like whether they are categorized as overweight, malnutrition, or healthy, depending upon in which range they are there. So once this particular source has been brought into our Dalgo platform and established, we have both our source and destination established, and then there has to be a connection between these two. For this, you can just click on a plus connection, then you can name this particular connection as suits, as so that you are able to identify later and search better. So for that purpose, and filter better, so that it doesn't confuses you. You can give a unique name. The best part would be that you don't have to select the complete data set to come to that platform. You can select a part of that portion to come. Like I don't want like from the complete workbook. Currently, I want only a particular sheet to be a part of this particular connection, so that I can select that particular stream. So I'll just display. Yeah. So see, now I had two sheets. I can just choose which one to sync with, and I could. So like in Kobo, there are multiple forms. We can see which all forms we want to bring into the Dalgo. So it is not necessary to pull the complete information apart. So Dalgo empowers you to select a part of it to be a part of a connection. And once you've done this, then you can just run a sync. And the moment you run, it will build the connection, get the schema updated, and then you are able to get the data to perform a transformation on the sync. The second, the most important piece of this is the transformation part, where most of the magic happens. So here, this is built in a such a way for both tech people who are into tech, are much more tech literate, and are technical users who know SQL and who can code. So for that, there is a route where they can put a SQL query, and then they could get the data models as per their choice. Or for people who do not have much or not much into SQL learning, they can just use the UI for transformation. Stuti, can you just mute some? I think someone's mic just go. Yeah, thank you. So in this particular UI for transformation, it is a low code, no code platform where you can drag and drop. So you are seeing your schema over here, the place where you have stored your data. So currently, if I've stored in staging, I could see, okay, my Excel sheets currently, or my data source is here, May Web personality, May Web, etc. And once I click on them, I'll be able to locate them in our table. I'll just zoom in for better clarity. Okay, okay, yeah. So once you click that, I'll zoom in more. Yeah, this one is my table. And if you want to recheck, you can just click on preview, and you'll see all the details which I just had shown you in the Excel sheet. So for this purpose, when you put in a table, then you can, the moment you click on that particular table, on the left hand side, on the right hand side, sorry, a menu opens up. these are having which has the predefined functions where you can select one of those functions and then you can perform on the same. Suppose if I select join, then I could select which table would be the first table. Currently, if I performed a function on this, I am selecting this particular table as this particular sheet as May Web. I could select which column if I am selecting gender. Then second table would be May Web personality. Uh, then I could select a column, student ID. Select the. I am selecting a right join, and then if I save, I'll be able to create a table of the same where I can put an output name, May Web, something of that sort, and then output schema name where in which folder do I want to save it. Once I save it, it runs. The dbt run is initiated and we can get a table of the same. So the logs show you that how is it performing at what all instance of a time, what all is happening. So it takes some time to create a calculated column and then it does the same. So once it is done, you can preview May Web join. It has joined the table and it is showing from the student ID that this particular student ID, like suppose S001 Amit, who's a male with 85% attendance, has this much height and this much BMI. And we could check it from our own, like how Amit, whose data is not in this sheet, like whose only student data is in this particular sheet, has joined, and we could get, yeah, this is his height and is overweight. So these two have been joined by Dalgo successfully. Great. So multiple complex things can be done and various tasks can be defined. Now, orchestrate is like the director I told you. It basically help you to schedule when this should be run. So either daily, manually, you can just put an time to this particular thing at 2 p.m. every day. And then you can give a name to it. Similarly, you can select which connection needs to be updated at that particular frequency, and you can check either all of the tasks. Suppose I had done join, I had done aggregate, case, type, coalesce, anything, and there are certain predefined tasks also. So if I want to run all of them, I can just click or I can select from the same, and it helps me to schedule that way. When all these three actions are performed, we can see in our pipeline overview. So this is more like a grounding you to that analogy. It is more like a production dashboard in film industry where you are able to see how many times the successful run has happened, and if there were any errors, then you can go into the log section and then you can check what errors has happened, and then you can proactively act upon them. Once all this is done, then comes the complete picture has been made and has to be displayed somewhere. So in this particular case, you need a theater. So this is our superset where you can just uh, pull in certain queries. I'll just show very quickly into this in the interest of time. You can just, in the data set, you can just pull in the certain databases which we have created, May Web personality, the same Excel sheets, and then you can perform certain actions to get a chart on the same columns. And similarly, a dashboard can be displayed. So we can see average attendance, total student plays, etc. And the breakdown of the two, where the two sheets have been joined, health status, how many are into malnutrition category, overweight, or whatever it is. So these data can be analyzed the same way. Two very good features we also we have on our Dalgo, which is more like a quality room, I would say, is the place where the edits happen in the film industry, or it is more of the like spotting certain issues. These are the usage dashboards and data quality dashboards. So basically, this helps you to uh, give your team a clear overview of how healthy and reliable your data is. It tracks key indicators like how many tests have been passed or failed, which tables are being monitored, and whether data is fresh and complete. So over time, it highlights trends and patterns that helps you to catch problems early, ensure accuracy, and build trust basically in the reports and the dashboards your teams rely on. So yeah, this is all about Dalgo. So I would again go to the deck and request Swarnadipta to come and share his experience. Uh, Before that, I'll just quickly share the pricing part of it. Okay. Yeah. So currently we have two different subscription models. One is for the SaaS. We have two different subscription models. One is where in a base plan you just take the SaaS product, our Dalgo platform, and one with a cost of another 50K. You have superset dashboard also with the same plan. And the second would be with the consulting pricing, where at a particular like 2,500 per hour of we charge for helping you to set up the platforms dashboard, or you want to work along with us to perform to get some key indicators and what indicators, what chart needs to be there to best represent the data. So all that has been done under consulting. So all the rates are there depending upon whether you want a monthly plan, quarterly, half yearly, or annually. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now I would request Swarnadipta from the Apprentice Project to come and take over and share his experience.
Thank you so much, Priyesh. And I would also like to thank uh, Dalgo as a whole for not just the system that they have provided us with, but also the opportunity to share it with others and let others know what Dalgo has helped us with, what they have been doing. Before I get into how Dalgo helped us, I would just like to talk about like myself and the organization I'm from. So my name is Swarnadipta Saha. I work as a M&E team lead at the Apprentice Project. Now, the Apprentice Project is mostly focused on developing 21st, what we call SEL skills or 21st century skills among the underdeserved children of our country. So when we say SEL skills, what we are targeting the skills is not the conventional skills of, say, memorization or stuff. I don't know, reading and everything. We are focusing more on the ability of students of problem solving, better and effective communication, and reading through a situation, basically navigating through difficult situations. So yeah, this is what TAP is focused on currently. And in the process, what we have leveraged is our WhatsApp chatbot Tap Buddy, which is commonly known as Tap Didi by the students who use Tap Buddy. So given that Tap Buddy is a WhatsApp-based chatbot, students interact with the chatbot, their messages, the videos that they get, the curriculum that we have our in-house curriculum team who creates videos and creates the curriculum structure based on different models supported or promoted by UNICEF and other educational boards. We have basically created videos which help students learn about these things through informative videos. We have 5 courses which will come towards the end of this slides. But before that, I want to highlight that data plays a very, very important and in fact, a pivotal role in the decisions we make in driving our growth, in driving us to our objective, to our mission. In this regard, data helps TAB keep track of the students, how they are performing, how our product, how TAB Buddy is performing, whether it is up to the mark for the students, whether or not students are satisfied with that or not. And accordingly, it helps us plan the long-term impact. Now, when it comes to who uses the data, it's not just the M&E team. Although, yes, primarily M&E team, whenever we say that, it comes that M&E team is the primary user of the data. But in our case, no, M&E team uses the data, but there are other teams such as the product team. They use the data for handling, tracking the performance of the product, Tab Buddy. Development teams, founders office use the data for proposals to donors, potential donors. PI team and operations team field team usually uses the data to identify regions which are high performing, where the students are performing well, where the students are performing not so well. So yeah, this is how who uses the data and how is data used. Krish, could you move to the next slide, please?
Yes, I'm doing that. I think
Oh.
screen is stuck.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So coming to the second slide, what I can talk about is, before Dalgo, it was a very tedious process for us. As it is written, we had to spend 8 to 12 hours every month, or in fact, even if not every month, I'd definitely say once in 2 weeks or once in 10 days on cleaning the data. Now, why in a month? Our onboardings or onboardings are basically how we onboard the students. And that is one of the peak times when the data, there is overwhelming data. We have tons of data coming in from thousands of students across different fields. When I say fields, it is their names, it is their grades, school names, their preferred course, gender, and whatnot. In this regard, we onboard students in terms of batches. So in case of every batch, we have to spend around 8 to 12 hours only on data cleaning, just the cleaning. Consolidating, although while we clean it, consolidating comes into place here and there, but the overall consolidation that happens after the data is properly cleaned, there are no duplicates, there are no variations in the school names. And yes, there are several cases where there are unwanted or undesirable variations in the school names. To give you an example, in many cases, what we have seen before the advent of Dalgo is we have students entering the data. Usually it's like students enter their data, and they enter different school names. Someone is entering SKV in short form, someone is entering Sarvodaya Kanya Vidyalaya, the full name, although they are the same. So these are the variations that we had to deal with before Dalgo came in. This is just one example of school name. Then there was, could you just go? Yeah. Sorry, could you just go back to the previous slide? Yeah. After Dalgo, we have reduced it by a lot. We have come down to 1 to 2 hours because we have started, Dalgo has helped us with automated data cleaning and real-time monitoring about the transformation. Now, I am not going to delve a lot more in detail because Priyesh has explained very well, very thoroughly about how the entire transformation and orchestration happens. And that is exactly what Dalgo has helped us with. Yes, Priyesh, you can move to the last slide. I can. Yes, thank you. So here in this slide, it's a very brief slide. On the left side, you'll see two graphs. First is what the PI team usually uses to identify which regions are performing good and bad. Access and submission rates are our flagship metrics, although we are in the process of developing more. Course IDs are basically to help us identify which courses are being entered. There are no variations there. We identify it by course. Students don't get to see the course, we get to see it, so we can stick by that. And on the right side, it's this similar thing. I talked about how each team uses the data. M&E team does the in-depth analysis, leadership plans the strategy, does the strategic planning, field team and PI team does the identification of regions, and product team tracks the performance of the product. Tab. So yeah, that's pretty much it, how Dalgo has helped us immensely in our data journey, basically. Thank you, Piyush.
Thank you so much, Swarnadipta. Okay, now we have Aditya from ATCF to share his experience. Aditya, please.
Yeah, thanks, Priyesh. Yeah, so I'm Aditya. I work for the Water and Agriculture team at AT Chandra Foundation. To begin with, just to talk about the foundation, we are one of India's largest philanthropic foundations, and we professionally manage the social sector focused giving of Amit and Archana Chandra along with the ATE group. Our approach is to strategically invest in ideas which can provide a very high social rate of return. And we focus on three verticals. The first is water and agriculture, which helps in uplifting farmers and the people living in rural India. And one of our primary interventions over there is rejuvenation of water bodies, where we desilt the water bodies in order to create additional surface water capacity. Our second vertical is the capacity building vertical, which focuses on building ecosystem capabilities of the sector and materially improving organizational effectiveness. And here we are perhaps one of the oldest and largest donors active in the space. Our third vertical is the goodwill vertical, which focuses on urban governance and afforestation, along with supporting organizations like the SRCC Children's Hospital and Ashoka University. Um, Given the quantum of projects we undertake, right, data is very central to us, and we have various sources of data from which we collect both field information and data which is used by the capacity building team, for example, to inform sector research, sector trends and ecosystem research. So both the teams, the capacity building team and the water and agriculture team, actively utilize data. Priyesh, if we can move to the next slide. Our journey with Dalgo, it took some time for us to, move to a consolidated platform like Dalgo to visualize our data. And before dashboard, what we were doing was we were using this customized application called Avni Gramin for rejuvenation of water body work, where the CRPs would enter all the data. And then through a tool called Jasper, we were essentially viewing this data consolidated into different tables. For example, for silt, we would have a different table. For the names of farmers and the quantum of silt they were taking to from the water bodies to their farms, we would have a different table. For different districts, we would have a different table. And then the team would spend a lot of time in downloading these reports in Excel form, consolidating that data, and then manually building out charts. So we were spending upwards of 10 plus hours in just this cumbersome manual process of downloading reports and then building out custom visualizations. After Dalgo came in, this has been reduced by 90%. Now we just have to check whether the data coming from the field is accurate, whether the APIs are working fine, and the data is being refreshed not just once in a week, but every day. It did take us some time because earlier we thought it's going to be a very straightforward process of a single pipeline from Avni, which would be connected to Dalgo, and we would have visualizations on Superset. But when we started working with the Tech for Dev and Dalgo teams and, explaining them our model, the kind of data that we wanted to visualize and, building that clarity and synergy, it turned out that we had more than 15 to 20 data pipelines across our data sources. We also have a Glyphic chatbot, which we use to collect data on training that we give. So that process of building the synergy with the Tech for Dev and Dalgo team was extremely important. For them to understand our work was extremely important to build out a great dashboard for us. Priyesh, if you can move to the next slide.
Yeah.
So we have different organizations that we work with here at ATCF in our rejuvenation of water bodies work, and it's critical for us to track work which is happening on the ground. So our rejuvenation of water bodies work, we have to complete everything before the monsoon hits, which means that we have to understand the day-to-day progress, right? And then take action on districts or NGOs where work is slow or where work is going on an appropriate pace. So the Dalgo dashboard that you see on this particular slide, which helps us filter down to geographies, filter down to NGOs that we are supporting, filter down to organizations like Niti Aayog or Maharashtra government, has really helped us in not just keeping a track of the progress which is happening on the ground, but also to plan for the next season, what we can as an organization do better. And we're actively using this data to reduce the time for our decision making, and also to provide this visualization to multiple stakeholders. So we can provide a customized visualization of our dashboard to, let's say, a Niti Aayog, which can then just view the information from EPIO, or we could build something like that for the MS government. So Dalgo has really simplified this process for us, and it has significantly reduced the amount of time that we were spending in cleaning and consolidating this data. That's it from my end, Priyesh.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aditya. Now let's call upon Naveli. We have Naveli from STIR, who would be taking us through the last part of it.
Thank you so much, Priyesh. Hello, everyone. I am Naveli, and I work with STIR Education as lead data manager in the monitoring and evaluation team. I'll introduce a bit about our organization. For us at STIR Education, our goal is to improve learning outcomes of all children. To achieve that, we aim to transform education systems by reigniting intrinsic motivation in teachers and officials. And in order to achieve that, we work on behavior change with various stakeholders, as I mentioned earlier. We function across various countries in the capacity of implementation, program, and an advisory body as well. Till now, our programs have improved engagement and learning outcomes for over 12 million children. Now, moving on, our learning framework highly relies on three core principles. First is peer learning, action and feedback, and third is data-based decision making. And that's how data becomes a very crucial part of our entire design. For us at STIR, data drives discussions as frequent as monthly reflections, and while the data is being collected every day on a real-time basis. It also informs our design iterations. It supports our program teams in action planning on the field. The regular users of data are program teams, M&E, and leadership. And how the data is used, it's used for planning and tracking field level progress, and it is also used for generating reports to provide it to donors, boards, and leadership. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So before Dalgo, before we met Dalgo, I can tell you how tedious the whole process was to clean, analyze, and prepare decks for monthly, quarterly, and even annual reviews. It took us at least a week to work on the whole process. And why that? Why that much time? It's because this task would be done for multiple geographies, and that too we had to take care of their own customized needs. And also, since we are a lean team, so it was maximum 1 or 2 members handling the entire process by themselves, which took away the essence of having real-time data collection, which is informing teams in time with insights, and also for them being able to plan a line of action in their upcoming activities. However, the best part happened when we met Dalgo, and after we onboarded Dalgo, we could automate the whole process of cleaning, analyzing, and preparing charts and numbers. The dashboard is now updated via integrated pipelines. All it takes is now an hour of collating all the information to sit for a monthly review or any other review that comes in on an ad hoc basis. We just have to check in to see if the systems are running smoothly. That's it. So accessibility of dashboard has also increased to more functions in the organization, which has moved beyond program and M&E team members. And we now design team members, donors and partnership, leadership, all of them are also able to access the dashboard and make use of the effective visual formats, which are heat maps, counter tables, trend lines, bar charts, big numbers, percentages, etc. And exactly that's what you can see, a snippet of our dashboard on the screen right now. The big percentage numbers tells us an overall behavior demonstration of participants, and the trend lines that you can see, it tells us trend across monthly or quarterly depending on the need of our activity count and also the behavior demonstration. Because of this demonstration, we are able to save a lot of time and improve our data systems and quality a lot more, spend more time on capacity building and data literacy of the teams. The leadership is able to access the dashboard to track performance trends and also align their decisions with different design outcomes. Design team is also able to use the dashboard to evolve on an every need basis. Donor partnerships are also now accessing the dashboard for their proposals and donor reporting. And lastly, but not least, definitely the program teams are we are able to constantly enable them and train them to use the dashboard completely by themselves to plan their field interventions and develop insights. Lastly, I'd also like to mention that we are also in a phase 2 of exploring how our qualitative data can also be analyzed and summarized based on customized and given filters. That is all I have from Star Education. Thank you. Over to
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So a big thank you to each of our presenters for their time and insights. Again, we hope like the participants have found it valuable. So moving ahead would be the next steps. What it would be mean like after having a demo performance and like having case studies of different NGOs who are having experience with Dalgo, I would request the participants to Stuti or Pratiksha, if you can just put up the this link in the chat as well. So if you have more time, you can just fill out the quick need assessment form. Meanwhile, we'll be doing the Q&A session, and then you can just fill in the need assessment form, or at least you can book a 30-minute data exploration call. So you can book that. My calendar is linked into the same, and we can have a in-depth discussion about the challenges you are facing, and we'll try to understand more, and it will be helpful for our own learning. So that would be a request I would like to make. So if you can directly go to the link and you can book a 30-minute data exploration call with me.
I've sent
If
the
someone
link
can put.
to the needs assessment form in the chat, so you guys can go
Okay.
take a look at it.
Yeah. Oh,
And if you guys have any questions, we have 10 minutes to answer them, right, Priyesh?
yes, sure.
Yeah. You can
So
also scan the QR if you want to get the need assessment form.
also, Stuti, if you can launch the poll, meanwhile, anytime in between, so that people can.
Yeah, sure, Priyesh. We actually have a question for Swarnadipta from Aditya, and it goes as how does Dalgo manage the value mapping for SKB versus Swarna Kendralaya? Both represent the same value, so how is that value standardized? So, Swarnadipta, if you could please unmute and maybe address that question.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Awesome. So basically, one thing that we have not discussed due to the lack of time is Dalgo helped us build something called the CRM, which is like a UI end that helps the PI team keep track of schools, students, and a lot of other stakeholders. In this regard, we get the names of the official names of the schools from the PI team, from the MOUs, prior to when students come in. So based on that, like I said, based on that, it helps us to identify the most likely ones, like it said. Now when the next question I can see is the accuracy. Now at this point, I cannot give a very concrete number of the accuracy because the CRM exactly did not have any metric to track the accuracy of it. But based on my own personal experience of validating and rechecking the data, comparing it on our end to see whether it's correct or not, it had an accuracy of around 80 to 85%. Now, that again was very short-lived, not the accuracy, but the fact that students having to enter the school name, because we understood that as we scale up, lot more students are going to come in and the number of schools would grow. And in the entire process, there would also be cases where some schools may have longer names or more complicated names, or maybe Hindi versions of the name. So it may not be a good practice to let the students enter the school names, which is why what we had developed, in fact, rather refined, is keywords. We used again the CRM platform, which Dalgo helped us build. Use keywords, configure the keywords according to the terms in the MOUs. Let's say I'm going to take the example of, let's say, DN Nagar Public School. It's a school in Mumbai and very common school. DN Nagar Mumbai wants to let TAP onboard students from 4 to 9, not the 10th students, because 10th have board. This is their logic in the MOU. Now, CRM lets us configure this. Instead of giving the entire list of grades, we can give the students the option to select from 4 to 9 only. So even if someone comes from 10th, somehow some student gets the access to the registration link, which is usually shared to the teacher, and from teacher, the registration link gets shared to the students. It might happen my senior wants the registration link, I get it to them, but the senior won't find the 10th standard there. So this helps us with the configuration. This is just one example. So when the keyword is entered, you don't have to worry about entering the school details anymore. School details get automatically associated with your name. Only things that you have to enter is your grade, your gender, your preferred course. Now, in this regard, the permutation combinations are very few as compared to the school names. If you're in 9th, at max, what you're going to enter is 9, NINTH, and 9 plus TH, or in Hindi, Marathi, and any other language, local language. Mostly Marathi is what we have also supported through Glyphic and our other platforms. So the permutation and combination, the chances of variation reduces. And all of this are taken care of by first level is within the flow in Glyphic, and also the second level is the Dalgo. So this is just one other example of grade. Now, in case of gender also, it might happen that someone is entering instead of, although the list of options is given, sometimes we have observed what happens is that they don't choose from the list of options. They enter it manually in the text, like we send the messages. So in case of gender, it might happen someone wrote the spelling as MAEL instead of male, or someone wrote boy instead of male. These are permutation variations we can foresee, and this is what we have seen in the past. Now, there could be very remote cases where, yes, something might come up, which is why we always do a cleanliness check, whether there is some outlier or not. But yeah, this is what we do actually. So this is how Dalgo helps us in identifying. I hope that answers. In case any follow-up, please feel free to ask.
No, that was great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry?
That was great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm seeing more questions in chat that we can address. We only have a few minutes left, so I'll try to keep it quick. Sanjay had asked how many templates are available and how many chart types are available. Siddhant's answered this question in chat, but just to summarize, we use Superset. Superset is an open source platform. So in terms of templates, everything that you'll find pre-configured on a tool like Lucas Studio will also be available on Superset. But also in addition to that, we can build dashboards and templates out for you if needed. What we've done with an organization like ATCF is we've built dashboards out and then we use them as templates for future dashboards. So any sort of capability you need for templating is available. Similar with chart types, we have, bar charts, line charts, area charts, pretty much anything you can think of. And if you need something more custom, Superset also comes with something, a chart type called handlebars, which we can then code and customize if necessary. Does that answer your question, Sanjay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. And another question we got is Prosenjit Roy had asked whether we can fetch data from, and then he named 2 specific data collection tools. We just want to say that as long as it has an API that we can make calls to and pull data from, we can build a connector for it and pull data into Dalgo using Airbyte. So as long as it has an API endpoint, we're good and we can connect it to Dalgo. That's our only requirement. We had another quick question. In comparison to Power BI, what advantages does Dalgo offer? I just want to clarify here, the Dalgo is not a visualization and dashboarding tool, which is what Power BI is. You connect your, cleaned and transformed data to Power BI and then you build charts with it. That's not what Dalgo does. Dalgo integrates with visualization tools. So what we bundle Dalgo with is Superset, which is a visualization tool. But if you're using Power BI, you can still use Dalgo and Dalgo will connect to Power BI. Dalgo is basically a data pipelining tool, an ETL tool, where we can pull in data from your sources, automate the transformation process, the ingestion process, the cleaning process, data quality checks. We automate all of that so that all you need to do is make sure the data collection happens and then the dashboards get updated. So that middle layer is what Dalgo does. We had another quick question, which is how does Dalgo help overcome garbage in, garbage out? So we actually have a lot of data quality features in Dalgo, right? One of the main ones is Elementary. So Elementary is a data quality monitoring tool. We've integrated Elementary dashboards with with Dalgo, sorry. So what that means is that if you write data quality tests in DBT, you can then go ahead and see the results of those data quality tests on Dalgo through the Elementary dashboards, and you can then monitor. So these tests monitor the quality of your data that's coming in from your collection tools. And another thing that you can do is through DBT, we can write unit tests. We also have something called DBT snapshots, which enables you to track historical data and see, if some data was corrupted at some point when, and then we can revert to the older values. And the follow-up question is Elementary part of the pricing mentioned here? Yes, it is. It is built into Dalgo, baked into Dalgo. So it is part of the pricing. I'm seeing just one more question in chat, which is how different is Dalgo from Tableau? Yeah, I think I answered all of that question, that you can integrate that Tableau with Dalgo if you want. So whatever you want on the visualization side of things, you can integrate. Dalgo will just take care of the pipelining, automation, transforming, data quality, etc.
Pratiksha, I think here's a different question. Aditya, can you unmute and just explain?
Yeah. Actually, I was just typing that as well. So I was referring to Tableau Prep, which is
Okay.
sort of the EDL tool of Tableau.
Okay. So Tableau Prep, okay, I see. Sorry, I misled that. I thought you were talking about Tableau.
Okay,
So
no problem.
Tableau Prep is also an ETL tool. Dalgo just offers other features as compared to Dalgo Prep as well, right? So Dalgo Prep is good for data cleaning, data administration, things like that. And it allows users to pull data from multiple sources. I'm not sure how many sources the Dalgo Prep can pull from off the top of my head, but Dalgo integrates with more than 300 through Airbyte, and we can connect to any other source you want that has an API. And in addition to that, we also offer, AI integrations. We offer data quality checks through the Elementary feature. We have data consulting where we can help you build out your pipelines. We also offer, usage dashboards, for example, which allow you to track who are the people actually viewing the dashboards that we've built out. And other features like that. I don't know too much about Prep except for, a little bit about what it is. So I can't do a step-by-step comparison, but yeah.
Oh, this was good. Thank you.